Hello and welcome to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is our day and I'm thrilled to be able to bring you this reading. The reading that we're focusing on today is just going to be on what is the next blessing or opportunity that's coming for you on your journey. And basically, what do you need to know about it? How can you best set yourself up for success to be able to fully embrace that new opportunity or blessing that's coming for you. And I have 3 different piles for you to choose from. We're using 3 different tarot decks, and then I've actually already shuffled, prayed over each deck, but I wanted you to also be able to see the tarot decks that are going to be for each reading. And then I pulled a stone to get an overarching idea of what is this new blessing, what is coming your way, and then I will reveal the first oracle card, and then that will lead you in, and you can choose if something pulls to you in any way. Actually, I feel like I wasn't going to, but I was going to use these charms and I didn't pull them, so I'm going to pause it and I'm going to come back with these charms. Okay, just a moment. Okay, y'all, so I don't know why, but I have been compelled since this morning when I wanted to do this reading. And I had located these charms that I had got some time ago. And I felt like I really wanted to use these in the reading. And so then I forgot about them. And then as I started the reading, that was just coming. They were like ringing in my ears. So I was like, okay, let me get them. So I'm going to pull one charm to see if this helps somebody out there, gives you a sign or a signal about one of the readings that might be right for you. So for pile number 1, Spirit, I'm asking for, let's see, sorry, a charm. Okay, so that's pile number 1. Oh, interesting. Okay, so for pile number 2, I don't even know what that is. I guess it looks like maybe a 4-leaf clover. Okay. Pile number 3. All right, so let's get into it. So let's look at what we have for each of the piles. Don't know where the charm situation came from, but I don't know if you can see that. So for pile number 1, you have, I believe this is a scorpion. Hopefully you can see that. Oops. And you have the stone of wealth. Oops. My hands are shaking. Wealth. Okay, so you've got the scorpion, and this is a tiny little charm, and wealth and love. Okay, so that's for pile number 1. And then for pile number 2, you have what I believe is a 4-leaf clover. Or is that a 4-leaf clover? Oh, it might be a butterfly. Or an X. I'm not sure. It kind of looks like it could be a butterfly. Okay, butterfly. And then passion. Beautiful. And asking for help. Interesting. Okay, so that's for pile number 2. And then for pile number 3, you have a buoy. That's what that's called, a buoy? Anchor? Not an anchor, but a buoy. Like that thing that you throw around yourself or can be thrown to help you if you're drowning. Okay. There's that. And you got healing. It's nice to have a buoy if you're healing. I think that's what it's called. Is it called a buoy, y'all? If it's not called a buoy, let me know in the comments what this thing. I think it's called a buoy. But and then your card is it's in reverse. So you have integrity, but in reverse. Interesting. Integrity, but in reverse. All right, so that is what we have here for the readings. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So I would suggest that you just take a moment to take a breath in, tap in, and see if one of these piles or more calls to you. You can certainly look at more than one of the piles if you feel drawn to it, because there may be a message in it, particularly the way we're doing it today, because I've pulled several oracle cards and a 7-card spread for each of the readings. So I'll look forward to digging into these with you, and I'll see you in your reading. Just go down to the description and hit the timestamp for the one that calls to you. All right, see you then. Bye. Hello, pile number 1, and welcome back. Let's get into your reading. So if you were drawn in by this wealth stone, what I believe is a scorpion charm, or this first card of love, then this is going to be a reading. So this first card is a 17 also, which would give you an 8 if those numbers are important to you. And the card that you have there is love. And so again, our reading, what we're focusing on today is what is the new opportunity or blessing that's coming to you, and what do you need to know about it? Like, how can you be in the most alignment with where you're going and what your next steps are on your particular soul journey. So let's get into it. So this first card is really telling you that it's time to prepare yourself for the love you wish to attract into your life, or to strengthen love that you have. Ask yourself, in what areas of my life am I still not loving myself enough? Because we know that that's where love really needs to come from. And there's a need for you to contemplate the areas in your life where you are particularly self-critical or lacking in confidence, such as your appearance or material success. So by taking positive and loving action in any or all of these areas, then you're going to be increasing your levels of self-love, and that is going to be vital to companionship and self-respect. All right. So don't wait for someone or something to make you feel better about yourself. Love can be delivered to you in many forms, and it will always arrive in response to a loving message that you have sent out from within yourself. Okay, so the other key thing that I would say that I'm seeing here, because we've got the wealth stone, and this is pulling in. So just in terms of answering that question of like, what new blessing is, or what new blessing or opportunity is coming your way, and what do you need to know? Like, I think we've already gotten this in the sense of there is going to be a wealth. And when we think of wealth, this is more than just money, right? Wealth is talking about a sort of self-satisfaction and fulfillment at all levels, right? So that is going to be monetarily, materially, right? Having the things that you need to make you feel prosperous, right? But it's also going to be a wealth of spirit, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of love or community, right? A wealth of abundance of all kinds, right? And then this is tied here to the sense of love. So there's a need for you to grow your capacity for the amount of love vibration, if you will, that you can hold. So finding ways to expand that. And then we've also asked, like, what do you need to do to be able to fully embrace this new blessing or opportunity? This may very well be saying that a new companion, a love, something very sweet, as I'd like to say, to come into your life. But there's also guidance here that in order for you to receive it, there's got to be an increased capacity to love yourself. Okay, so and let's see what else we have here. So you've got alliance. Okay, I'll talk about that. And then you've also got fear. Look at that. Okay, so again, we're asking, like, what do we need to do to get ourselves ready for this new blessing, this new opportunity? And so the first card here is alliance, and this talks about, like, crows are very, very smart creatures, and this crow has formed an alliance with other animals in the neighborhood. That, this cat is kind of getting a food, or a handout, or whatever it might be, from this person, and the crow has formed an alliance with this cat to be able to share in some of the wealth of that, even though if the crow walked up to the door, they might not get the same response, right? But they leverage their alliance to be able to get the things that they need to help them to feel wealthy, in your case, right? So there's a need. And also this card speaks to about not unnatural, but unexpected alliances. So finding ways, connections with people that may seem surprising, right? Might seem like it's odd for you, say, a doctor, to collaborate with a teacher, for instance, or just another field. Like, it may seem like it's not a normal alliance, right? That these two sectors, ideas, packs, people, groups may come together and find an alliance that is for everybody's good, okay? And that's what this card speaks to. So look for those unexpected alliances. And if it feels right, then see where you can help each other and connect with each other. This other card here is about fear, and it talks about this one crow being brave enough to actually land on the scarecrow and realize, oh, it's just a bunch of straw and sticks, right? It's not any other any more scary. And then these crows are all stuck back there on the line and afraid to come any closer because they haven't taken the risk to just come down and see. And this crow is like reached a new level of understanding, because he's like, I don't need to be afraid of the scarecrow. So there's something about really facing your fear and allowing yourself to do it even when you're scared. Like, do whatever that action is, whatever your gut is telling you to do, whatever you feel like you're guided to do by spirit or higher beings. Do it. Like, do that thing, even if you're afraid. Okay. If you've been called to speak, speaking can be one of the most scary. Public speaking can be one of the scariest things that people do. Some people it's easy, but for others it might be very difficult. But if you feel really strongly in your spirit that that's what you need to be doing, then you're being asked to say yes, like to stand up on the stage and speak, even though you're terrified, because the message is more important than your own fear. So same here, in terms of receiving this new blessing or opportunity, you're going to have the opportunity, if you will, to be able to face a fear and then find out that there's actually no basis for that fear at all, which is going to liberate you, let you stand with more confidence and strength. Just as this crow is like on there going off like blah 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 blah. Y'all just don't know, right? Like he could do his own thing, because there's no more fear. He's faced it directly. Okay, and then the other oracle card you have here, you have flying, but it is upside down. So it's in reverse. I don't know that needs to be reversed. I think it's in the process of turning around is what I'm getting. And then this card is about kind of like, who do you need to be? What characteristics? And this is saying, wow, look at that. The spy master, knowledge and distrust. So we will look at both of those things. I think what I'm going to do, though, I'm going to come back to these, because I think that hopefully you can see this. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to come back to the spy master and the flying. And we're going to look at the actual tarot reading and see if that helps to give light to this whole piece of like, what do you need to know about this blessing or new opportunity, and how can you embrace it, right? And so I'm going to just do this full spread. Okay. Oh, must have pulled two, because, okay, Queen, and then the Hanged Man. Okay. And let's see what's underneath the deck. Strength. Okay. So part of what is going on for you, like what's going on underneath, underneath the surface of this whole reading, like what is in this, is there is going to be an opportunity for you, or a blessing, if you will, of an increased level of strength. And when I talk about strength here, I'm talking about like inner strength, healing, bravery, courage, resilience, right? But that inner strength is not talking about it. It's not a brute strength. It's not like a heart, like I am able to lift however many tons, although you may be able to do that. But it's really talking about that inner strength, that ability within you to calm the beast within and the beast without, right? That's that inner strength. And that is what is going on throughout this whole thing. So there's something about, for you all in pile number 1, that your sense of wealth or abundance is going to be opening up. And part of the reason why it's opening it up is because you're being blessed with a greater sense of inner strength. So some of you may have been going through something really, really, really tough, because we do have this Ten of Swords in here, which I'll talk about. And there's going to be a need for you to let something go, to allow it to complete, because on the other side of that is your healing, is your wealth, is your love. Okay. We did get the Scorpio charm, which is interesting because, I'm sorry, not Scorpio, but the Scorpion charm, which is, that's a very deadly, poisonous, what is it? Spider? Insect? But it, there's something about you having gotten stung. You've gotten bitten, having, what is that called? Alchemized the poison within to help you get to a new place, to be able to receive your wealth, to receive your abundance. Now you've got here this sort of sense of, this reading is talking about like what is kind of passing away. And it's this sense of having started to build something and then feeling almost, what I get is passing away is this sense of like holding so tightly to something because you just received it and you didn't think that there's more that could come. Like, oh, I just got this job, or I just got this car. I never had a car before, or I just got this apartment, or whatever it may be, or just got this relationship, right? And so holding very tightly to it, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there comes a point where we're holding so tightly to something we're not able to release enough to be able to be open to receive more, because and that's what I was saying in the beginning, is that there's a calling here for you to expand your capacity to receive love, to receive wealth, to receive anything within the material plane. And this is what is passing away. So you're going to begin to get to a place of more spaciousness to receive. Because where you are in the present, I love this, is the Emperor. And the Emperor is all about being strategic, right? So the Emperor is very wise. He is very successful and abundant and oversees many different empires, right? He's an emperor. So there's a way in which you're stepping into a new level of power, but a new level of not just power, but sophisticated power, is the best word that's coming to me, because it's strategic power. It's when you are really thinking about, how do I make the next best move on my life journey, my life purpose, to get to meet all of the needs that need to be balanced at this point in my life, okay? To bring about wealth, to bring about love, all of those. What is the next strategic next step? And that for you can look like just being open to beginning to listen to your gut, or being open to tap into the divine. Change your questions that you have with the divine so that you can get the answers that you actually need, right? That actually can help you to move forward rather than keep you in a cycle that you've been on. Okay, and then where you're going, I love this, is like by you taking strategic action and moving yourself forward, you have this beautiful Ten of Pentacles, which is, this talks about abundance. This talks about wealth. It talks about, in here they're saying like an inheritance or just a business, but the Ten of Pentacles is a very prosperous, abundant card that talks about having everything that you need, being in a bit of overflow, and also not just what you need, but what your family needs, what your community needs, like being able to give generously and freely because you have everything that you need and more. It's in alignment with your happily ever after, whatever that might look like for you. And this is where you're moving, right? So by using your strategic ability as the emperor. Now, then this next card is supposed to be talking about what action do you need to take to move yourself forward. And you've got the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is not an easy card. It talks about all tens represent a completion. But this completion is talking about an end to something very painful, to a sense of defeat, to a sense of like all hope is lost, like the chapter is done, it's written, there's nothing else more that can be done. This can talk about bitterness, failure of some kind, whether it be with a job, relationship, family member, whatever it may be. It talks about, it can also represent violence or just spiritual or physical sort of warfare, if you will. A sense of having victim consciousness, meaning, woe is me kind of consciousness, and not really claiming the power that you have as a creation of this universe, right? And so this card, when it says, what do you need to do? It is about letting go, surrendering, accepting the close to something so that you can begin again, okay? And the environment that you're in is giving you some options, some choices where you're going to need to make a decision, because you've got the Two of Pentacles, which talks about expansion, being adaptable and flexible, but making decisions that are going to lead you in the direction of your purpose, right? And balancing, twos also represent a sort of balancing. And so because it's a Two of Pentacles, it's going to be talking about balancing your finances. But this is talking about your environment. So this lets me know that you're in an environment in which you may be being offered two different paths, a path to stay where you are or to expand. But the expansion takes some level of inner strength and courage to be able to get to that next phase. Facing your fear, okay? Building unlikely alliances, learning to love yourself more, right? And so that path can feel a little tricky, might be a little bit harder than what it seems like it would feel like to stay where you are. But believe me, you don't want to stay where you are. You want to continue to expand, because that's why you're here as a soul, is to continue to expand. And now in terms of your hopes and fears, you may be afraid that you're going to get too much in your head. You're going to be too honest, too blunt, too straight to the point, too cutting, right? Too cold. This is what the Queen of Swords can represent. But there's the hopes and fears, because the Queen of Swords is very successful by using her intellect and her knowledge to get her to the next place where she needs to be. She is also very fair. She is one that, yes, makes decisions very clearly and promptly, but is able to do it in a way that is just and fair, because she's looking at the facts of the situation. But there's a fear there, because that Queen of Swords can get kind of cold, because she's basing everything on literal fact and thought rather than the more watery realm of emotions. All right. So, and this is, kind of what you're striving for and also afraid of, right? But understand that there is balance in everything. So the Queen of Swords doesn't have to be so cold, but she also can use her strengths and her superpower of being able to make decisions clearly and quickly based on her intellect. And then in terms of your outcome, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, which is beautiful. And I tend to try to pull another card to see if there's a major arcana. So you've got the Queen of Pentacles followed by the Hanged Man. So what does this tell me? This tells me that in regards to your blessings, the new opportunities that are coming for you, there's going to be an opportunity for you to build wealth, and to build wealth at all different levels, materially, financially, if you will, but also with regards to relationship, not only relationship with others and companions and possibly a new love coming into the picture, but a relationship with yourself into the divine, and allowing yourself to grow your capacity for what you can receive. You will also see that there can be some unlikely alliances to help you get to the next stage. This is all leading you to the Queen of Pentacles, which is very prosperous, luxurious leader. She is also a healer, okay? And so the Queen of Pentacles is about this material plane, but she's learned to master that in such a way that she is overabundant. And then your Hanged Man. Now, sometimes this can feel like being trapped or indecisive. So what this is telling me, as this was saying here in the Two of Pentacles in terms of your environment, you're at a place where you're going to need to make some decisions that allow you to expand. You're going to need to make the decision to be in a place of expansion, not only of your environment, but also your internal expansion and growth, and facing your fears and doing what you need to be in alignment with that. That is what is going to help usher in this new ability, this new strength, this new, what am I trying to say? This new wealth, right? This new wealth. Now, as I said before, I was going to go back to the flying because you got the flying in reverse, and I wanted to make sure that I was really clearly understanding that. So this is the flying upright, and this is when you've got the horse, and it's above the maze, right? It's above the maze. Now, when this card is in reverse, it's a gentle reminder that there are times to take flight and times to remain grounded. And for now, you must avoid overreaching. There is still work to be done before you earn your wings, so be patient. When you seek, what you seek will not be out of reach forever. Remember the story of Icarus in Greek mythology, whose wax-made wings and overconfidence brought him too close to the sun. He perished because he didn't realize his limitations. Humility is a great power, and now you must exercise it. Doing too much, too fast, too soon only serves to prevent a beautiful flight later on. So that's what I wanted to make sure I was understanding, because part of what the message here is there's a sense of needing to go with the flow, which is in alignment with what we're seeing down here in terms of what actions you need to take, because with the Ten of Swords here in the what actions do you need to take, the message is you need to heal, beloved. So you need to take time to be able to accept where you are, heal, and go on to the next step. That's going to mean that you're going to need the Hanged Man is when one has been, the image is sort of like you hanging upside down, but there's always a light by the head of the Hanged Man, because it's a way for Source to get you to stand still so they can download all of the information that you need to be able to expand and go to the next level. Okay. Very, very beautiful. Now, in regards to I want to get to the Spy Master here, because the Spy Master is talking about knowledge and distrust. So if you think about a spy, right, the spy is going to be a little more, I was going to say sneaky, but that sounds negative in its connotation. And in this connotation, I don't necessarily see this as a negative for you, because this is a way in which you want to cultivate these characteristics so that you can achieve, like greater achieve this goal. It's taking me a minute, so I'm going to pause this for a second, make sure I get to the right spot. Okay. Oops, I think that got tilted a little bit. But so the Spy Master, there's two levels here of the Spy Master. So first you've got this little key up here, and we've got this little crow here. And the key for you is going to be on, yes, trusting in your knowledge, okay? But also understanding that the search for knowledge, while it is very important, and it is important for you to get to the bottom of things, there's also there's also a risk, if you will, of being able to, of going so far into knowledge or understanding the details of things that you actually begin to not be able to really see the people around you for where they are and the connections around you. Like you can get too far into your head, which I think is part of like your hopes and fears here with the Queen of Swords. But this card here is you needing to allow yourself to forgive more, okay? To forgive more. And because it's kind of over here, I think it's like, look at unlikely alliances. So there may be that you are going to be in collaboration next in the future with somebody who is an unlikely alliance because there's some history there and a need for some forgiveness. And so the opportunity that you may be presented with is to be able to give a little more grace and compassion and build an alliance where it might seem unlikely that will help bring you to a place of greater wealth, okay? A relationship or situation can be so much better if its flaws are acknowledged, but not focused on above all else. So there's a need to like be honest, acknowledge the things that you're seeing, but don't harp on things, right? Like don't allow things to be forgiven and moved on so that it's for the benefit of all. Not to harm yourself in any way, okay? But to really strengthen yourself. Use your resilience, your adaptability, your ability to tame the beast without and the beast within to help you to be able to navigate. So pile number one, this is the reading that I have for you. So ultimately, I think the blessing and opportunity that's coming is an increase of wealth at all levels within your life. And it's going to require you to do some letting go, look at some unlikely alliances, make some decisions, and listen, be still enough to listen to your divine guidance and allow you to be able to soar to where you need to soar using your own inner strength and resilience. So this is a beautiful reading and a very strong one at that. So I hope this is helpful to you. And please, if you're liking what you're seeing here, please hit that that thumbs up for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, like if it helps if you want to leave a comment. So, and if you don't know what to say, then for this one, you can leave any type of emoji like that represents like wealth to you, whatever that might mean. It could be, you know, it could be a money symbol, but it could also be, you know, a love symbol, or it could be flowers or whatever it is, you know, whatever it is that brings you a sense of wealth, a sun. So anyway, drop that in the comments and know that I'll be back soon with another reading. And I thank you and many, many blessings to you. May this be just the opening to something grand. And tell me about it. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. This is your reading, and we are looking today at what new blessing or opportunity is coming for you, and what do you need to know? What do your spirit guides need to tell you? What do you need to know to be able to be successful on the next step of your journey, to be able to fully receive whatever that blessing or new opportunity is that's coming your way? Okay. Now, if you're looking at pile number 2, that means you were drawn in by this passion stone. Okay. And or what I believe is a butterfly. Now, at first I did think it was a 4-leaf clover, but I really do think it's a butterfly because these two are a little bigger and then a little bottom. Okay. And then asking for help, which is card number 2. Okay. So the first thing about the asking for help is, you know, I love what it is really saying, because it's really talking about being surrounded by human beings and at least one of those human beings around you is ready and willing and able to help. And all you need to do is ask. Okay. I also feel like with the Passion Stone, it's really speaking to sort of making what I would call heart-centered decisions, leading with your heart, leading with your passion, which could also be interpreted as your creativity or your fire, if you will. And so there's a need for you to be able to use that sort of inner passion, if you will, to allow you to ask for help for the things that you need. It could be as simple as, this is what came to my head, but it could be as simple as changing a light bulb, right? That you need some help with changing a light bulb. And you just simply need to ask someone to say, you know what, I'm not tall enough to get to that. And I'm scared to get on the ladder. Will you just change this light bulb for me? And somebody is going to be willing to help you. To something way bigger than this. You're dealing with some sort of depression or anxiety or a physical illness of some kind, and you're needing to ask for help in a very deep way to help you to do some things that you never thought you'd have to ask for help for. And this message is saying that there's an opportunity and a blessing for you in your asking for help. So, step in and go ahead and ask for the help that you need. There's also a call here that's telling me around asking help of the divine, right? Or of your guardian angels or elevated spirits or higher self, or however you see it, but that which is greater than you, and being able to lean into that and ask for help, and ask and you shall receive is what I'm really getting from this in terms of what new blessing or opportunity is coming your way. There is a real blessing for you, pile number 2, in your asking for help. Does it, they're just saying ask for help. It doesn't have to be an elaborate thing. It doesn't have to, you don't have to make I don't know why they're saying that, but like a big scene about it or something. Like, just ask for help. Like, just ask for help. It's okay. Like, it's totally okay to ask for help. They are really wanting me to emphasize that. So pile number 2, that's why I keep going over it. All right, so let's look at what is the other oracle cards that are around it. So I pulled 2 crow cards. Territory, okay, and waterproof. Look at that. Territory and waterproof. So for the crows, like, the first thing is that the crows are very they're very aware of their territory. Protective. That's what I was trying to find the word. Protective of their territory, their space. And they have delineations around where they need to be. They know what their territory is, and everybody else knows what their territory is in the crow world, if you will. And so there's this sort of level of protection around one's territory. And so I'm hearing this in 2 ways for you all, in regards to, one, allowing yourself to have territory, right? And what I mean by that is have boundaries, right? Have a space that is in fact your space, okay? This talks about making sure that boundaries are in place. Would the situation benefit from establishing some ground rules? Territory may also appear if you need to carve out some space for yourself, whether that be within your home or in the form of time to be alone. You may need to define an area that is solely yours and yours alone. Okay, so there's something about this sense of having your own territory. It's like having your own space, but also being able to ask for help, to invite people into your space when you're ready for them to come into your space, and support you and help you to do what you need to do. Now, in regards to the waterproof, I love this because there's almost a sense of, like, when you are clear about your boundaries, okay, that there is a covering, a protection for you, so that when the elemental changes come through, whether they be in relationship or with the job or whatever it is that you're dealing with in which you need to ask for help, a business of some kind, a move of some kind. It could be any number of things. It's just an aspect of your life in which you need to ask for help. That when you ask for help, you also become waterproof. In other words, not being hit by someone else's this sounds terrible. The way I was going to say it, so to say, somebody else's wetness, but really somebody else's drama. Okay, that's what is really looking at, like somebody else's tears, somebody else's just excess stuff, right? Like that you can be waterproof of this. Being waterproof is someone who is not bothered by something, is not being dragged into someone else's drama, can take an emotional toll. And so it can leave you waterlogged in a sense too, if you're feeling like you've been taking on too many people's things. But you can turn this sort of sense of being weighed down by other people's mess, sadness, drama, sorrow, whatever it is, by understanding and remembering that your soul, that your spirit is waterproof, and that you can let whatever their stuff is just roll off of you like water. You can almost envision that, visualize that, and allow for the space and time for you to release, right? To let go of other people's things and focus on what is passion, heart-centered for you in terms of moving forward. Okay. I love that for you. And then you've got the Bone Collector. I love this. It's the first one in this, the compass, the enchanted compass, or I'm sorry, enchanted in this, the compass, enchanted map. Oh, these are the enchanted map cards. I always think of it as a compass because there's a big compass on it. So I think of these as the compass cards, about kind of guiding you around like the steps in journey that you're on. That's why I use these. That's what they lead me to think. But this particular card is interesting. It looks it's almost talking about divine timing with this clock here. And then there's this sort of sense of luck. And then I'm really getting this as like an ancestral card, as if there are like guides, even with the sense of bone collector, right? That which has been in our bones, that which has been in our legacy. It says you are whole and have everything that you need within. Like it's all within you to be able to get the things that you need. I love this. This is asking you to look closely at your circumstances to see if you're fully present and reacting out of past conditioning or unconscious expectations. Whenever we're wounded, especially when we're young, it is as if something essential is stolen from us. We adapt and accept a version of the truth that then sets us up to behave a certain way in the future when faced with a situation similar to the original event. When we know about ourselves, thus becomes influenced by a perception of limitation. Okay. So this card is actually asking you to do a deeper level of insight within yourself. Okay. When it's telling you that there's going to be an opportunity for you to lean on heart-centered decisions and also be able to ask for help and find an additional blessing here, you may want to think about like, what is it about your past that stops you from being able to ask for help or fully receive the things that you need? Re-examine that, pull out the weeds from the root, and allow yourself to heal and expand your capacity to be able to receive help, and also set boundaries for yourself and be able to not take on a bunch of other people's stuff, right? And let it kind of roll off of your back like water on a duck, okay? So you may feel unworthy or without courage. You may see yourself as flawed or unlovable or expect to be criticized. But the Bone Collector reminds you that the truth is that you are a powerful being with limitless possibilities. and she has kept safe what was stolen from you in the wounding, and is here for you as you reclaim it now. You have everything you believe you lack, and the bone collector is your inner resource. Act as if you have what you need, and you'll find you have it after all. Anything is possible. Let me say that again. Anything is possible with awareness. The wounds of the past need not define you. I love this. This is really also talking about ancestral help coming in, and that the work that you're doing right now is also going to be healing those ancestral traumas, hurts, wounds that you may have carried into this life consciously or unconsciously. Okay, but whatever it is that you're doing to fully step in, ask for help, allow for drama to drop off of you, set boundaries that are clear and focused and safe for you and your family and your loved ones. Doing that is big, and it also can break, because it can break things on multiple timelines that are happening at the same time. So keep doing that beautiful work. All right. Now, what do you need to kind of embrace or be? You've got the waker. Look at that eye. You've got to listen to your intuition, be aware, and allow yourself for self-reflection, self-compassion, self-kindness. So when we talk about self-reflection, so it's the sense of like being aware and conscious of how it is that you're maneuvering in this world and the people and places and things that are around you. Make sure, there's that thing they always say, like, be careful who you surround yourself with. But this is sort of a new level of that understanding. This is about understanding what frequency and vibration that you're on, and allowing yourself to be around people in groups doing the work that is in alignment with the vibration of your soul at this particular moment. That's kind of a big thing to do in some cases, because you may look up, step in your full awareness, and go, oh, wow, this individual that is in my life, like deeply embedded in my life, is not on the same frequency. Maybe you were even on the same frequency at one point in time, but you're not now. And it's very clear when you are awake that you're not on the same frequency. And that can cause some pain. And the reason why I say that too is because what we have underneath at the bottom of the deck. At the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords talks about a completion, letting something go, a defeat, if you will. But defeat, remember that a defeat, you learn so much from a defeat that it actually can take you light years ahead of in a new beginning, right? Sometimes the most difficult path is the path that gives you so much more in the long run. Okay. So there's no shame in the game, because we're all doing this. We're all trying to learn and elevate and expand the frequency of our souls. So with that being at the bottom of the deck, that just lets me know that underneath this is that you may be going through a painful ending of some kind. And the blessing or new opportunity that's coming for you is to take the lessons from that and be fully awake and conscious of the frequency that you're in, and then therefore draw the frequencies that you need that are going to take you to the next level of your own development. Do not let your suffering, do not let your pain, your endings leave you in vain. Do not let them be in vain, right? Use the lessons from them to accelerate your elevation, because that's what they're there for, to help you to do that. Now let's look at the tarot cards. So you've got, this is about letting go. So in the past, let me just unveil here so I see what we're dealing with. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of, okay. We don't have a final ending. Let me see. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Again, we're back to this whole heart. So the ending is the beginning, in that we're talking, okay, we'll get there in terms of the Lover's card, but it's about heart-centered choices. That's what the Lover's card is. So we're starting here with the past, and what's fading away is that there's been a death Like we see here at the bottom of the deck, the Ten of Swords, there's a completion. Could be possible, possibly a painful ending. But what was passing away is a need to let go, right? To let go of something. Something has fully ended. When there is death, there is a rebirth. So that is what is beautiful in it. But it's also a death, right? So we go through little, big, medium-sized deaths on a regular basis if we're halfway awake in our life. You know, anybody at any level is going to be receiving that, right? Receiving some level of death, of letting go. But the excuse me, sorry. The question is, how do you begin again? What do you do with that death? How do you learn from that? Now, where you are in the present is you're actually in a process of, so many of you, this death has passed away, or at the very least is passing away. So there's something that you've been letting go of, and now you're in the process of working with others to build anew. We've got the Three of Pentacles, which talks about collaborating with others in sort of, I'm going to say work environment, but this could be within a community environment. It could be nonprofit. You know, it could be, it's just coming together with others and working on building something, growing something. That's what the Three of Pentacles is. So that's talking about where you are now. So having let go of something, having let something pass away, you're now at a place of rebuilding, at the beginning stages of rebuilding. All right. And then, but where you're going, what is interesting here is the guidance here is for you to be aware of your lack mentality. Okay. You've got the Five of Pentacles, and this talks about when one doesn't see all that they have available to them. You know, they're in sort of a lack consciousness. So when they, you know, they're out here kind of suffering in the cold in this particular image, when there is, you know, a well-lit, warm place for them to be that is literally white behind them, if they would perhaps simply go to the door and ask for help. So this is kind of where you're going, which I think is why the guidance here and the blessing and opportunity for you is going to be around asking for help. Because while what your circumstances around you may look like, there is a level of lack. The truth is you don't want to fall into a consciousness of lack, right? You want to stay in a place of abundance because there's actually more to what you have, what's possible for you, than what meets the eye. Okay? So don't allow yourself to get caught in a cycle of lack consciousness. Now, in terms of what action do you need to take to move yourself forward, you've got the Seven of Wands. And what I really got when I turned this over, you know, she's sort of protecting herself fiercely. Okay, she's ready to take on anybody who's coming at her. But what I really got when I turned this over is spiritual protection. There's a need for you to be more deliberate in your steps around making sure that you are what you're actually feeding yourself, right? Like what's actually your input, what you're listening to, what you're watching, who you're listening to, right? Like could be friends or family. Like if they are spewing things that are not helpful to your spirit, your psyche, and your process of moving forward, then you need to limit your interactions, right? So that you're curating your own inputs, right? If social media is causing you a greater level of anxiety, or it's just giving you a vibration that is not in alignment with where you are, limit, if not cut it out. You know what I mean? Like, this is really important because there's a lot of stuff being spewed right now that we need to really be conscious of and just not take it in. I mean, it's just, we've got to be able to discern fact from fiction and not allow ourselves, life is short, you know, like time is short, and just make sure you're protecting yourself spiritually, physically, emotionally, and having some sovereignty, some dominion over your own life experience, what you take in. Like, if you don't have to go hang out with that toxic friend, don't do it. Like, just don't do it. Go do something else. Even if that's go be by yourself and listen to a podcast that enlightens you. Okay. Like, if it means going somewhere, sitting somewhere in a corner and knitting because that's what feels good, like, do that. Do that. Just begin to look at what are the circumstances. What are these learned behaviors that the bone collector talks about, these family patterns that cause us to not be able to ask for help or do the things that are in alignment with our spirit. Okay. This is what this is really calling on you to really, to be that one. Like, you are your own superhero. So be your own superhero. Now, in terms of your actual environment, you've got the Fool card. And so the Fool card encourages us to take a risk. Go out there, look at all that sunshine, right? And even the little dog is happy, okay? But you're about to jump off the cliff. He's literally about to jump off the cliff. And so there is a sense of trust within the universe and a trust within yourself and trust within your guidance and higher, within the divine and in the, higher elements, energies that walk with you. They're going to catch you. You're going to be caught by the universe, but it's up to you to have this sense of lightheartedness, taking a risk, living your life to the fullest, asking for help. Okay. Asking for help. And one of your hopes and fears here is the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups, again, we're going back to letting something go, because the 8 of Cups is about leaving behind these cups to go get your 10th, your 9th and your 10th cup, to get that thing which you believe is even greater than what that you have. There's this sense of like, he's going on an adventure. He's not turning back. He's just like, I'm going off to get what I need to get that's going to bring me ultimate fulfillment. And this is your hopes and fears. And so we know that there's some level of this reading. It's clear that there's some level of letting go, letting things roll off of your back, right? You've got the 10 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and then the Death card, right? And what's passing away. So there's a sense that there's been an ending, probably a painful ending of some kind, and that you've now need to move on and let go. And so this card is really talking about, like, that is what is happening in your environment. And it's important for you to embrace the energy of that letting it go, okay? Because you're moving right into building a more solid foundation with this beautiful 4 of Wands, which talks about the building of a foundation, right? Laying the groundwork, if you will, to your future success. And so I pulled again to see if there's a major arcana, and you got the Lover's card. Now, oftentimes people say, oh, the Lover's card, I mean, we're going to get a lover. And we do have passion kind of leading this. And it can certainly speak to a possible new love coming into the picture. But I think even more so than that for you, this is about making choices, because that's what the Lover's card actually represents. It is about making choices, but it's also urging you to make heart-centered choices. So when you are doing the work that is in alignment with you, with your passion, with that which lights you up and brings you joy, there's a couple of things that this reading is guiding you to be aware of. One, limiting beliefs that you've held that are coming from your family of origin or who you grew up, who raised you, like sort of ancestral behaviors, okay, that you need to be mindful of and really question, like really say, is this serving me now? Like, it's kind of like that same idea. Okay, daylight savings time. Okay, like I'm not gonna debate the issue. There's different reasons to have it, yada yada yada. But understanding why it actually started the way it started, because we were largely a farming, agricultural society, and so the daylight savings time became really important to be able to allow for longer days when we needed longer days and shorter days when we need longer days, in alignment with the harvest. I'm not saying we don't need daylight saving. I don't know what we need. I'm not the expert on that in any shape of the imagination. My point here is that this reading is telling you to examine the outcome of certain things and like understand the history, like understand Why? It made total sense then. Does it still make sense to any number of things? I could name any of the number of things, like just in terms of society. Does it still make sense that does it still make sense that we have nine to five jobs, 40 hours a week? Like, there's a reason that these things were put into place. Like, what makes sense to where you are in your own life, soul journey, etc. Like, allow yourself to set boundaries around that with this here. Do not let yourself fall into a lack mentality. Ask for help. It is okay to ask for help, because these are one of the things we've been taught. We can't ask for help. And there's a reason for that. You know, depending on what it is, what culture it is you grew up, sometimes asking for help could get you killed, you know, in the past, you know what I mean? And so there's a reason why, as human beings or ancestrally, we develop certain restrictions, if you will, around what's okay for us and what's not okay. And this reading is really asking you to lean into heart-centered choices and to allow yourself to question, you know, those things and where they come from and whether or not they best serve you as you are now more awake. Okay, being awake, because you're building a foundation. So there's some things you're going to have to let go of, but it's leading you to more heart-centered choice or more heart-centered life. It's going to allow you to dip deeper and further into your passions and do the things that are more in alignment with your path. So that's what I'm seeing here for you all in group number 2. I hope this was helpful to you in some way. If so, please hit that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel. And, you know, leave a comment. Let me know what resonates with you, what doesn't resonate with you. It's always fascinating to me. If you don't know what to say, then drop in an emoji of some kind. You know, for this group, you may want to drop in, because you got the symbol, the butterfly. You can drop in a butterfly. You can drop in like a number 2, because that's our first card, or just drop in a note of some kind. And with that, I will look forward to seeing you next time. I hope that you enjoy this reading and really allow yourself to seep into your passion. Don't fall into that lack consciousness. You deserve so much more. There's so many things that are possible for you. So believe in yourself, believe in your path, and take steps moving forward. We need you on your path. All of us need to be on our path so that we can help elevate the vibration of our whole species. Okay, that sounded like a lot for pile number 2, but that's what I'm getting. So with that, I will see you next time. Have a beautiful, abundantly joyful day. All right, bye. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. If you were drawn in by this healing stone, which I love, and the integrity card in reverse, number 13, with what I believe is a buoy. Okay. So again, we're looking at what new blessing or opportunity is opening up for you, and what do you need to do to be able to fully be open to receiving that blessing, and just continue to be on the right path with it. So I pulled several oracle cards and then some tarot cards. And so let's take a look at what your reading is saying. So we'll start off with this integrity card. So this card is really interesting in that, you know, upright, what it's really asking you to do is to take a moment to reflect on how integrity is playing a part in your world today. Okay. So in other words, are your actions in alignment with your thoughts and your beliefs? Like, are you living a life that's in alignment with what your soul like truly believes in, what you believe in? So like, if you believe that we need to, just as an example, I mean, if you believe that you're concerned about the Earth's climate in some ways, and it's like, are you doing the steps that are necessary to help save the climate in whatever small way that might be, like whether it's recycling or, I don't know, as deep as going off grid or whatever, but you know, it could be as simple as just like, are you doing the steps to recycle, right? Because that puts your actions in alignment with what your thoughts and your beliefs are. And so really thinking about that in terms of your overall, and what I've kind of gotten overall as I've been like shuffling these cards for you all is there's almost a need, and we'll see if the cards sort of clarify this, but there's a need for you to be able to take a step back, look at the bigger picture of your life, and make sure that it's almost like the blessing and the opportunity for you is to take a step back and look at all the different areas of your life, and like directionally, are the pieces, the people in your life, the things that you're doing in your life, like the place that you are in your life, both physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it may be, whatever's surrounding you, is it strategically moving you in alignment with your path? Are you moving to more joy or less joy? Like, that's some way to look at it. Like, and what are you not seeing? Like, there's going to be an opportunity for you to step more deeply into your authentic self and be in greater alignment. Like, turn this integrity card upright, right? To be in greater alignment with your own sets, your own internal set of beliefs and thoughts, and have that be in alignment with the actions and how you're living your life. Okay. I think of the buoy, and because we've got healing, and I think of this buoy as a sense of like a lifesaver, right? I think some people even call it like a lifesaver, right? So it's like a lifesaver that they're like spirit and the divine is coming in to say, okay, on your road, there is going to be healing, and we are supporting you. The higher elements that are around you are supporting you with this lifesaver, to be in more alignment with your authentic self, to be in more alignment with your own integrity. And so that is a beautiful thing, because that will filter into all aspects of your life. The more that you can be more fully in alignment with your authentic self, and more fully walking steadily and consistently in your own integrity, the vibration that you're emitting allows you to create a world that is one that is going to grow your joy, right, on a regular basis, because you're in alignment with who you are and not pretending to be anyone different than who you are. Okay. I know I'm saying this as if, oh yeah, you can just flip the switch. This can be easier said than done, depending on the circumstances of your life. But that's even more great. That's an even greater reason to stand more firmly in your integrity, no matter what is going on around you. If everybody around you is not standing in integrity, well, that's an even greater reason for you to stand fully in your integrity, and move through that. So anyway, that's the first thing that I'm seeing. And additional guidance. Okay, so you've got, that's exactly it. Distance. Okay, so in this card, this distance card is really, you see the crow is like taking a step back and is able to see the broader picture of the land all around him. This card is actually speaking to what I was feeling and seeing before, which is there is an opportunity, and the blessing for you is to be able to get a glimpse, to be able to, sometimes it can be a bit of a privilege to be able to get the space and time to take a broader look at your life, rather than like trying to solve this one problem that you're always trying to solve every day, whether that's like just making sure there's enough food on the table, or, I don't know what it could be, any number of things. So sometimes it can be a bit of a privilege to be able to take a step back, but there's an opportunity and a blessing coming in for you to be able to take a greater step back. And I believe this is really speaking to like your life, the environment around you, like how the trajectory of your world, of your own personal world, from the vantage point, just taking a step back and having a greater vantage point to see where you can strategically make shifts. Okay. So you've got the distance there, and then you've got this ghost card, okay? And the ghost card is all about past things coming back to haunt us, right? There is this idea of not allowing things of the past to keep you from fully claiming the benefits, blessings, opportunities of the now. Okay. It's about being fully present in where you are now and not allowing, like, yes, certainly you can acknowledge some past things that you have gone through or dealt with, but you do not want to allow those things to stop you, hinder you, slow you in moving forward in the direction of your dreams and your purpose because of some old past beliefs, some old ways of growing up, old ways of thinking about things, old people, old places, whatever it is. This is about being mindful of those ghosts, right? And sometimes it's time to like do a little bit of an exorcism, if you will, metaphorically, with regards to letting go of things of the past that are no longer serving you. Okay. Now, the other cards you've got, Ride the Wave. So you can see that, Ride the Wave, and Cleaning House. There it is again. So ride the wave is like go with the flow. And you've actually saying that you've actually put some things into place right now that you have what you need to just kind of go with the flow. And the divine is there with you, and just ride the wave of life, if you will. Let go, like be a little bit more free in your movement, because it's like your tide is coming in. It's like that sort of sense of like, you just need to ride on the wave at this point. Like you did the work, like if you were a surfer, you know, you did the work of pedaling out, and now it's time to just ride the wave on in, right? So there's an opportunity for you to do that. But you got this, also, this is the only pile that got two of these from this deck because they both fell out. So we got the ride the wave, go with the flow. But while you're riding that wave, there's a need for you to clean house. Okay. And clean house here, we're talking about physically, spiritually, metaphorically, like emotionally. It's like get rid of the debris. Okay. And that can, and I hate to say it, but it can be people, places, or things. So it could be, you know, that there are some things that just, they need to be swept on out. There could be some people that just need to be swept on out. There is a need for you to clean house. So, and this is also speaking for some of you, sometimes we hold clutter, we hold stuff, and understand that everything is energy. So if you are holding on to things, there's an energy that you're holding on to. Okay. So look at your surroundings and make sure that you are cleaning house, right? And that you're not holding on to things. I mean, as simple, y'all, as you picked up a pen, you're on your little desk and you pick up a pen and you go to write with it and it doesn't write anymore. And instead of just throwing it away, you put it back into that little bucket where your pen is. So then periodically you pull out that same damn pen that does not work. Excuse me for cursing, but it does not work, right? And so energetically, that pen is taking up space. Get rid of that pen that is no longer working. Let it go. And then you can actually put a pen there that works. So when you go and reach for it, every time you use it, your pen will work. So this is kind of what this cleaning house is speaking to. It's like, get rid of the things that do not work anymore, whether they be people, places, or things. They just don't work anymore. It's not a judgment. It's just like, this does not work anymore. And we need to be in alignment with what works for our purpose and works for us moving forward. And I can hear it now, like the people are like, that's easier. That's much easier said than done, right? Because it gets complicated out there. You know, you can't just like throw away people or relationships or things like that like you can a no longer working pen. But the idea is that there are just some things that it may be harder than that, but they are still necessary to clean house. So it's important. It's going to be important for you all to clean house for the sake of your healing. Okay. That is what is important. Let go of ghosts, take a step back and look at the big picture. And then you can see more clearly, like, oh my God, what is going on over here in this part of my life, right? Like over here, I'm humming along. Things are going well. I'm going towards the business. But over here is a hot mess. Okay. And it's a hot mess because I'm allowing certain things to continue that are just not in alignment with it, with what I'm needing to do moving forward. This is just an example, okay? So as you take a step back, you can begin to see, where do you need to tweak to get yourself in alignment with your soul's purpose and moving forward. Now, let's look at the tarot. And so we got a little quick 7 card. I'm just going to reveal here. So we start with the 3 of Cups. And so this is talking about kind of what is passing away. So for those of you who have been going through a literal healing, whether that be a physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, maybe healing from some addiction of some kind, some disease of kind, you may have had a certain level of support that has come in with friends or family that have kind of supported you. Now, this is talking about recent past. It's not, I often say it's what's passing away, but it's kind of like the energy that is going to be not necessarily has been at the forefront, but maybe less at the forefront moving forward. So this sort of sense of like people coming in to help, sort of connections, friendships, and things like that, that being more prominent is going to possibly be going away, because what you've got going on in the present right now is the Hanged Man card. And now for many people, this can feel like a restriction of some kind. I see it as a spiritual pause. So it's where you need time. You know, here they're stuck hanging, but there's this light around them, because the thought process is they're stuck hanging, but while they're there hanging, that gives the divine the opportunity to really download the information that you need to continue to move forward on your journey, okay? So the Hanged Man, I don't think of the Hanged Man as a negative card. I think it's representing a time and space in which we need to do a bit more of going within and listening for guidance from our higher self, the divine, that which we call God, right? So it's about listening, being able to listen to what's in alignment with your purpose and moving forward. Now, in terms of what is coming after that, you've got the Sun, but you've got the Sun in reverse. Now, the Sun is one of the best cards in the deck in regards to, it speaks of joy, it speaks of childlike wonder, it speaks of revitalization, if you will. It speaks of, as I said, sort of just kind of this deep happiness and joy with like contentment, right? This beautiful contentment with life in and of itself. And because you've got it reversed, part of the way that I see this particular reversal is about your inner world. So there's something about like the sun not shining within. So there may be some sadness, some, you know, sort of feeling, because the sun represents sort of freedom. So there's sort of this sense of like not feeling particularly free and feeling a bit trapped and feeling not the level of joy that we want you to have, okay? So I think what's important for you is, this is where you're moving, for you to use your time in this Hanged Man energy, this pause, this spiritual pause, to really be asking your question like, where am I? And as you're taking a look back at your life, where am I in alignment with my true self? How can I increase my level of joy and peace and abundance? Like, ask that of yourself, your higher self, of God, and then wait and listen for the answer, right? And then take what steps you need to take from there. Because when we look at what action do you need to take, that you've got the 7 of Coins. And the 7 of Coins is like, look, she's planted this beautiful plant. She's already seeing that there's going to be abundance coming off of this plant. But there's this card really calls for you to be patient, because it's not yet time to have the harvest, right? The plant is not fully matured. It's a young plant, so it's still, you know, in its like growing processes. And so in terms of what action you need to take, your action is to be more, cultivate more patience as you continue to grow your life and grow your impact on your purpose, right? So your impact on your purpose. So you've got, and this is in what action do I need to take? Now, with regards to your environment, you've got the Four of Wands. And so just like the Three of Cups, there's this sense of like community, coming together, fulfillment. But the thing about the Four of Wands is it also speaks to building a firm foundation. If we were doing a relationship reading and the Four of Wands comes up, it can also speak to marriage. It's sort of like laying the foundation of something anew. And because this is in your environment, there's an opportunity for you to continue to lay the foundation toward your dreams. And part of that is, they're just drawing me back to this integrity card. Part of that is for you to get real honest with yourself around the places in which your life is in alignment with your beliefs and values, in places in your life where you are not in alignment at all. And there's levels to this, right? To this development, to this growth, to this healing. So, then it's about taking a deep step back and determining, okay, I'm going to look at that area. I'm going to get myself more in alignment with my authentic self in that area. There may be other stuff going on, but I'm going to focus on this area and go ahead and continue to do your growing and healing. But have patience, because you're laying the seeds and things are going to come to fruition. Now, with regards to your hopes and fears, again, there's this sense of like taking a step back. You've got the Emperor, and the Emperor is known for being extremely successful, extremely wealthy. And the way that the Emperor has done that is they have leaned into their strategic vision, their strategic abilities, and use that to be able to move themselves forward. Okay. So again, I feel like I got it in the beginning before we even turned over the cards. Then we have this distance card, which is like take a step back. And then you've got this, cleaning house, getting rid of things. You've got the Hanged Man, which is again, a spiritual pause. And this is in the present right now. So like taking a pause and listening to the divine and moving forward with that. And then you've got this Emperor card in your hopes and fears, which is again, taking a step back and looking at things strategically so you know what the next step is. And then the cards are then indicating with the Six of Swords that the next step, is moving away from something. This is like the Six of Swords is like the blessings and the bonus comes to those who are brave enough to take the risk to be able to move forward. Okay. Oh, you did get, okay, the musician. So the musician is also speaking about, in this particular card, is speaking about kind of what characteristics do you maybe need to be conscious of or carry with you to help you with this. And now this is talking about the musician, and the musician focuses on gratitude and inspiration. Okay. They're the ones that are inspired. And the idea is that the musician is able to transmute, if you will, the sorrow and the pain and the bad experiences that they've gone through before, and allow that transmission to come through their music and actually be able to heal others through their own level of inspiration. Okay. So what this is saying to me is that it's like, pay attention to your the way that you can impact others by your own story, by your own inspiration, and make sure that you're staying in a place of gratitude. If you don't already keep a gratitude journal where you make a little list of the things that you're grateful for, I would highly suggest that you do that for this particular pile, because I think that this will aid in your overall healing and also help you to get clear or a little bit more in alignment with your authentic self. Okay. Because then you can kind of see where it is that you are out of alignment, right? And then make the tweaks that you need to make to be in alignment and increase your level of joy. Okay. So for your blessing and opportunity, it's going to be an opportunity to deepen your healing, an opportunity for you to take a step back. And for some of you, I'm hearing this could come in the form of like a vacation, or like a, even traveling to somewhere else, for you to be able to get different perspective and be able to take a break. And it's up to you to use that time. Use your hanged man time, the time where you have to be still. Some of you may even, God forbid nobody is hurt badly, but you may be in a place where you need to sit down or lay down because of some medical issue, right? Or something that sort of causes you to have to pause. And if that's the case, just make sure that you're using that time wisely to listen to your body and to the divine and to the guides that are around you that have been trying to get your attention. So make sure that you're listening and paying attention, and then using what you're learning to be able to be in more in alignment with your authentic self. Whew. Okay, so that is what I am seeing here for you all. I hope that this resonated with you. If it did, please hit that thumbs up for me. Go ahead and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and it also helps. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, let people know that we're here. And I'm going to continue to try to increase my readings that I do. Also know I will be putting it in the description, but also know that I do offer private readings. I love doing private readings, and there's different options for you to be able to explore that, and you can find that information on my website. But I'll put all that information in the description. I hope this is helpful to you. I hope that you have a joyfully abundant day, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.